Cryptocurrency news today. I've got some good news stories for you today. This is going to be awesome. We're going to be talking about Kevin O'Leary and his sudden stance on Bitcoin. How interesting. We're going to be talking about Citibank actually writing a puff piece related to Bitcoin. This is going to be a good one. You're not going to want to miss it. Also, China's war on cryptocurrency. That's going to be coming up. We're also going to be talking about the New York Attorney General threatening all cryptocurrency projects. Here's a lame duck politician essentially threatening cryptocurrency. You better follow the rules, because I promise you they're going to claim that everybody's getting hurt and we've got to curtail and regulate and make cryptocurrency difficult for the average person. Because, you know, the New York Attorney General's goal in life is to protect you. It keeps her awake at night, knowing that you might be making gains that she's been missing out on because she was too lame to get into crypto. But we'll get to that. Sorry, we'll get to that. As you can tell, I get passionate about this stuff. Next up, we're going to be talking about Goldman Sachs. That's right. Goldman Sachs is servicing the elite. And I'm convinced they're going to continue to have access to cryptocurrency, but I'm not so certain that you and me are going to be able to continue to have access to cryptocurrency. We'll get into that and so much more. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Crypto Wealth. I love talking about cryptocurrency. I believe cryptocurrency is an incredible revolution that can transform the world. And I believe it is here to stay despite what any government may want to do to it. It's not going anywhere. They may attempt to regulate it. They may threaten you not to use it, but they truthfully are not going to be able to stop you. Do me a favor. If you believe in the future of cryptocurrency, if you believe in financial independence, or if you just like to stay up on the news, smash that like button, and by all means, please subscribe. I've got a couple of surprises for you in this video. You're not going to want to miss it. If I haven't yet earned your subscribe, hopefully before I'm done today, I will have earned your subscribed. All right, so let's get into this. So this is the best part ever. So now, mind you, imagine this video was done in May 2019, not quite 2 years ago. Kevin O'Leary, Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful. Maybe he's a smart investor. Maybe he's an incredibly smart entrepreneur, but he didn't know a damn thing about cryptocurrency when he said this.
Try and do a transaction over $100,000 with Bitcoin. I tried to do some real estate in Switzerland with it once. It is a useless currency. It is a useless currency. That's what I believe. I mean, look, I realize people have different opinions, but to me, it's garbage.
It's garbage, he said. But suddenly he's changed his mind. Look at this. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary reversed his stance on Bitcoin, says that crypto's here to stay. Invest 3% of his portfolio. Featured Bitcoin news. So, Canadian investor and television personality Kevin O'Leary has changed his mind about Bitcoin. He previously called the cryptocurrency garbage and a giant nothing burger. But now, he is invested in Bitcoin and thinks that it is no longer a fad. I actually think that digital currencies are here to stay, he said in an interview with CNBC last week. Most people that are willing to hold them, including institutions over the last 90 days, are willing to deal with the volatility, O'Leary elaborated. Ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced if people don't believe in Bitcoin, it's simply because they do not understand it. If people don't believe in cryptocurrency, it is simply because they do not understand it. Be very careful who you listen to. Do your own research. Don't listen to me as a YouTuber. Don't listen to any other YouTuber giving you financial advice. Do your own research. Create your own convictions. Kevin O'Leary didn't know what he was talking about in 2019, and look at this. He just recently decided that there might be some merit to Bitcoin. Most of you own Bitcoin before Kevin O'Leary. When it comes to cryptocurrency, I think you're smarter than he was. And I actually like Kevin O'Leary. I'm a fan of Shark Tank. However, he didn't know crap about Bitcoin. All right, if I'm wound up today, I apologize. If I'm offending folks, I apologize. I've been reading these news articles today, and something has been stirring in me. Maybe I should go to bed and wake back up on a different side of the bed, but this is incredible stuff. We got to keep going. This is good. Now, I always tell you to do your own research. Protect yourself. Be careful in cryptocurrency. Everyone is always after your money. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, we live in a society that's about provide value, give money, but unfortunately, we also live in a society that's about over-promising and under-delivering. And we also live in a society where it's all about information manipulation, so just be careful. I want to show you an example. Now, keep in mind, I'm pro-cryptocurrency. I'm pro-Bitcoin. But I want to show you something that actually is pro-Bitcoin, but it's an absolute garbage news story. Total puff piece. Citi, Bitcoin at tipping point as institutions come on board. So if you go through this, we'll read the first couple paragraphs. Bitcoin is at the tipping point of its existence thanks to large institutional investments and growing regulatory groundwork, according to a new report by Citi obtained by CoinDesk. While the perceptions of the cryptocurrency varies greatly, it is undoubtedly the inspiration of a blockchain-based economy that has created a new decentralized currency market, according to the paper by Citi Global's Perspectives and Solutions, the bank's thought leadership arm. Although I agree with the overall sentiments here, this actual report itself is garbage, according to Financial Times. Now, in all fairness, Financial Times, I don't know if you ever follow them, but if you do, you'll find that they really slant negative towards cryptocurrency, truly. And I'm certain most of their advertisers are probably traditional finance, which traditional finance is struggling to figure out how to grapple with cryptocurrency. So that would be obvious why they would have news stories that kind of slant negative to cryptocurrency. But I want to give them credit. I can't show this right now. Somehow I got timed out when I was preparing for the video, and I guess evidently I'll try to link this below for you, or you can just Google Financial Times. Hey Citi, your Bitcoin report is embarrassingly bad. They have a full article that is excellent, and it's basically talking about how horrible Citibank did on this report. How they pulled erroneous statements, how they misstated things. And there was only one thing in the article, and I read it, and I try to be objective. I always say that you can't invest well unless you can be somewhat objective about the investments you love. And I love Bitcoin, obviously. I'm the guy who thinks Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million one day. But as I was reading through this article with Financial Times that they did, I had to agree with them. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Like one of the statements they quoted was that like 36% of small businesses are currently using Bitcoin. There's no way 1 in 3 businesses are currently using Bitcoin. That's just, and so they talk about where they kind of got their misinformation and that sort of thing. It's a good article, but it just goes to prove to you, like, you got to be careful what you read. And one of the points that this article made, and it was fairly written, it was done, it was researched well, it was a good article. One of the articles they made is, hey, there are several news outlets like Yahoo, for example, Reuters, that have already picked this up. And they said you got to be, essentially, these people are just picking up the story and running with it, but no one's actually reading through the paper. No one's actually vetting the story. And it was just a great piece. You just got to be mindful of the puff pieces. You got to be aware of what's out there, and you got to be careful making investment decisions with information that could be, we'll say, exaggerated. Or as my wife likes to say sometimes, it's exaggeratory. Exaggeratory, that's a new word. Crypto Wealth, Mrs. Wealth says exaggeratory. All right, I want to talk about this a little bit because I did a video talking about will Bitcoin succeed or fail. And in this video, I said Bitcoin going to 500,000. Now, spoiler alert, one of the things I talk about is the different attacks, the misinformation that exists around cryptocurrency and how the government really can't figure out how to exactly deal with it. The truth is they don't want a competing currency that they can't control. Every government wants to control their currency. They want to have independent control of their currency. That's always been true. With that being said, I talk about how the government could attack cryptocurrency and they could make it difficult to transact in. They could even make it illegal for commerce. That they could possibly require you to have to be what's considered an accredited investor. Part of the elite class. As an accredited investor, I think you have to have a net worth of like, I don't know, $500,000 maybe, and you have to either be a single income earner of like $250,000 a year, or you have to have like a combined married income of some number. Anyways, in the multiple 6-figure range. Those numbers may not be right. But the point is, accredited investors, if you can't invest into an IPO unless you're an accredited investor, you can't invest into a hedge fund unless you're an accredited investor. Yet where have been some of the biggest gains ever in the history of investments? In hedge funds, in IPOs. The wealthy elite can get into those investments, but they say that you don't know enough about risk and you don't have enough money, therefore you're not in a position to tolerate the risk, or they want to protect you. It's always about, they always limit your access under the argument of protection with these regulations. So with that being said, I just want to lay that groundwork for you, because in here I talked about how governments are going to try to attack cryptocurrency by creating their own currencies, their own central bank digital dollars. But you're hearing more and more about this. When I first started talking about this a couple of years ago, people thought I was nuts. And now it's like just normal. It's kind of amazing to watch people just change their tune. Like, oh yeah, of course. They want to have their own digital currency. Yes. Not necessarily blockchain currency, not a decentralized public blockchain. They just want to have their own currency. Absolutely. And there's an article that just came out. Quick heads up. Oh, I'm going to talk about this. Hey, I want to say a quick thank you to everyone who saw this video. It's my last video that I put out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our membership literally has grown. We are currently up to, 110 new members who are taking advantage of this 2.75% per day strategy. Wow, 112. Wow, I think we got 2 more since I started this video. Great job. Great job. The best part is I was worried about us getting priced out of this opportunity. It doesn't look like we're priced out of it yet, which is awesome because I didn't want to get priced out. So great job. Great job. Okay, I want to talk about this. So China's war with cryptocurrency, talking about, let me close that out. Talking about right here, will Bitcoin succeed or fail? And right now, this was done back in January, and it's important. So I want to continue to lay some groundwork for you. China region declares war on crypto mining, stirring wider fear. Inner Mongolia plans to shut down all such operations by April. Nation is home to some of the world's biggest crypto miners. China's Inner Mongolia has banned cryptocurrency mining and declared it will shut down all projects by April, spurring fears the world's number 2 economy will take more steps to eradicate the power-hungry practice. The autonomous region, a favorite among the industry because of its cheap power, also banned new digital projects, according to a draft plan posted on the Inner Mongolia Development and Reform Commission's website. The aim is constrain growth in energy consumption to about 1.9% in 2021. Now, here's what's interesting. You read this, you're like, oh, that's good. They're really focusing on decreasing their energy production. That's really smart. That's really good. That's good for the environment. Well, why do you have a problem with that? Because, again, regulations always come in a way that is going to be easy for the public to swallow. And I think the real reason that they're banning cryptocurrency mining, because they say down here, they want also ban new digital coin projects. Well, most cryptocurrencies don't use a proof of work algorithm, which means they're not a direct threat to the environment in any way, shape, or form. But they're banning new digital coin projects. Exactly what does that mean? And the real answer is why. I think the answer, if we go back to January, I think the answer is here. It's what does the digital yuan mean for Bitcoin? I think that this right here is China's attack on cryptocurrency. This is why the Fed coin's coming out. This is why Russia they're the closest to have a full blockchain currency. The digital yuan is not even a blockchain currency. It is just digital, made up, computerized dollars. That's it. And so this is really incredible. China wants to become the first nation to issue a digital currency in its push to internationalize the yuan and to reduce its dependency on the global dollar payment system. See, I've been explaining. I explained it in this video as well, but I've been trying to tell you, those of you that have been watching, I've been trying to tell you it's important to understand that the U.S. dollar is the backbone of the global financial system. And it is a problem if you're a country like China, who is either our first or second largest international lender. If you're lending us money and you're seeing us devalue our money every day at a rate of by 2 to 3% by the official estimates, some estimates say that we could be debasing our currency at a rate of inflation could actually be as high as 5 to 6% a year. If we're only paying 1% a year on the interest, but we could be devaluing it 3, 4, 5, 6% a year, that means that China's ultimately losing. They're losing. And so all these stimulus checks that are going out, the government doesn't have that money. They borrow what they can, they print the rest. And so they're devaluing the debt payments that they're making to their own debtors. Imagine here's a great example. If you let me borrow 1 Bitcoin from you, and 1 Bitcoin is worth $50,000, and that 1 Bitcoin goes up to $75,000, let me ask you a question. Do you want $75,000 back? Do you want your 1 Bitcoin? Or what if I said, no, I'm not going to give you 1 Bitcoin. I'm going to give you the $50,000 back. What do you want from me? Do you want the 1 Bitcoin? Or do you want the $50,000? See, and that's the issue here. The dollars are not buying as much as they used to because they're getting devalued. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So already the digital yuan has been tested already. They've given it out right here to 50,000 people via lottery. This is really their war on Bitcoin, digital yuan versus Bitcoin. While the digital yuan has the backing of the People's Bank of China, basically their national bank or their central bank, there are several ways in which it cannot compete technically with Bitcoin. This is true. Chiefly, it is not decentralized, and therefore not much different than the paper version of Yuan. No, it's exactly just easier to create and distribute, and will not leverage a public immutable blockchain ledger as blockchain does. There's two main reasons why the People's Bank of China is now willing to run their digital currency on a blockchain. First, experts have doubts that any network could handle the sheer volume of daily transaction of China's population of 1.4 billion. Second, the decentralization and the transparency inherent in blockchain technology are two concepts that go against the Chinese government's goal to strike a balance between anonymity and the need to crack down on financial crimes, according to the central bank's office. Now, mind you, that's garbage. That's absolute garbage. Through chain analytics, they can do KYC AML. Through those two structures which the U.S. government has in place already, you can easily track transactions. The digital yuan could allow the People's Bank of China to control bank lending more closely and to direct funding where it seems appropriate. But a central bank controlled digital yuan will never truly compete with the value proposition of Bitcoin. So what they're saying is the People's Bank of China can control lending. They can issue as much as they want, which means there's a risk of devaluing their currency. And it says it will never compete with Bitcoin. All of this is absolutely correct, but there's no army forcing you to use Bitcoin. The People's Bank of China will be able to force its own citizens through laws, through regulations to use a digital yuan. Just like in America, the federal government can force us to use the Fed coin, which we at least hope is a blockchain currency, but there's no guarantee that Fed coin is going to be a blockchain currency. Fed coin is going to be coming out this year or next year. I'm banking it's going to be this year. Here's what's very interesting. It's easy enough for any government with the amount of money they have to be able to get behind cryptocurrency development and create sidechain or multi-chain like sharding, for example, on Ethereum. There are plenty of ways. We are at the cusp of trying to figure out how to process, thousands upon thousands of transactions every second. Even the CRO token right now released a report that they expect their blockchain to be able to transact in 1 second transactions and be able to process, I think, 3,000 to 6,000 transactions per second. That's getting close to being viable for practically any society. So for them to be rushing it now, when the technology is probably going to be there within a year or 2 or 3, we've gone this long, why rush it now? Again, it's because Bitcoin is gaining prominence. It's because they're worried about cryptocurrency. And they're also worried about how quickly the dollar's getting devalued. Since everything's happened with the pandemic, with everything going on, with the federal government printing more money, giving out stimulus, it devalues our currency. It makes our lenders very much concerned. They're worried about getting back a currency that's just not going to buy as much as it did when they lend it out. So therefore, there's a bit of an urgency. The prominence of Bitcoin plus the US dollar is getting devalued. That they're willing to literally create video game money. No blockchain whatsoever. And by the way, the US government is considering the Fed coin not being on a blockchain. It's crazy. But don't worry. The New York State Attorney General is attacking cryptocurrency. Play by the rules or we'll shut you down because we love you. We're going to protect you and you can't harm our citizens. It keeps the New York Attorney General up at night that people in the cryptocurrency industry are doing bad things. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that she gives a rat's crap about cryptocurrency? Or do you think that the lobbying groups that fund her campaign? Call me skeptical. New York Attorney General Letitia James on Monday warned individual investors and cryptocurrency individual members about the dangers of the digital assets. We're sending a clear message to the entire industry that you either play by the rules or we will shut you down, she said in a press release. James also told investors to proceed with extreme caution when investing in cryptocurrencies. Yeah, that's true. I wonder what she said about all those people that were investing with Robinhood and can't get their money out. Did she tell them to proceed with extreme caution too because she was very, very, very concerned about them using the traditional market? I mean, she's in New York, though. The traditional markets are probably what put her into authority, put her in her position of authority. What do you think? Sorry, I'm just a little bit skeptical. I apologize if that rubs you the wrong way. I told you I'm in a rare mood today. Here's what I can tell you. You should be cautious in cryptocurrency. I spoke to 2 people today who asked me about investing in crypto, and I'll tell you the advice that I told them. I can't give anyone individual advice, so this is good blanket advice. You find enough money, a small amount of money, that you don't care if you lose it tomorrow. As long as maybe it's $10 a week. Maybe it's $5 a week. Maybe for some people it's $50 or $100 a week. But you find a small amount of money that you don't care, and you set it up through crypto.com to be able to buy automatically from your bank account each week. Dollar cost average. I'll put a link up to crypto.com up above. You can dollar cost average in with crypto.com, and then just don't worry about it. Get some Bitcoin. Do some research. When you feel comfortable, you can take that little bit of Bitcoin and maybe you take 10%, 20%, 30% of it. You buy some Ethereum if you want, and cut it in half. 50% Bitcoin, 50% Ethereum. Do research. Take your time. Expect that we may go back down to $10,000 Bitcoin, $5,000 Bitcoin, and I don't care if someone tells you that's not possible. You know this. We went from 20-something thousand all the way down to 4,000, below 4,000. When we were at 20,000, nobody thought we could go down to 4, and we went there quickly. Guess what? 6-7 months ago, we were sitting at freaking $4,000 and $5,000 Bitcoin. All of a sudden, we're breaking 50,000. It moves just that fast in both directions. I had a trader reach out to me today, and he said, what do you think about trading Bitcoin? I said, I don't. I'm not going to miss the moonshot that one day it will make. Dollar cost average. Protect yourself. Be very careful in cryptocurrency. Even if it's on my channel, be very careful. Don't take anything as financial advice. Protect yourself. No one's going to watch your money better than you're going to watch your money. All right, here we go. You ready for this? Goldman Sachs restarts cryptocurrency trading and will begin dealing Bitcoin futures for clients next week, report says. Why do I mention this? Let me ask you, do you bank with Goldman Sachs? Do you use Goldman Sachs? I really like the news story a couple of weeks back where MasterCard was going to start allowing investors to be able to, it was going to start processing basically Bitcoin transactions, or was going to bring Bitcoin inside of their network. That's interesting because Main Street average people use MasterCard. Goldman Sachs restarts cryptocurrency trading. Will begin dealing Bitcoin futures for clients next week. I'm going to tell you, these are the types of news stories that I see this. And when I see Tesla buying Bitcoin, and I see MicroStrategy doubling down, buying more Bitcoin, when I see those news stories, it lets me know that, you know what? These are the companies and the organizations that can pay lobbyists to go to Washington. These are the people that make massive campaign contributions. So I don't think the politicians are going to fully cut them off. They're going to try to restrict gold to a simple store of value, and they're going to say that it's too risky, just like IPOs are too risky for the average investor, individual investor. Just like hedge funds are too risky for the individual investor. Some parts of the options market and futures market is too risky for the individual investor. You have to be an accredited investor. You have to already have money to be able to get access to those lucrative investments. And so I think that's what makes me think they're going to protect the wealthy investor. But the young guy who's trying to buy Ethereum before it hits 10,000, they don't want him to get it. At least that's what I think is going to happen. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Maybe I'm off my rocker. I told you I'm in rare form today. I'm in rare form. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully by now I've earned your subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button and stay tuned. I got something coming up for you you're not going to want to miss. I almost want to give you a hint, but hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon, and click all. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.